Hi, my name is Brianna and I'm with the Loveland Crisis Response Unit. And these next two sessions, we're going to be talking about gratitude in the midst of crisis. And one of the books I like to look at, which isn't a very popular book sometimes, is Habakkuk. He's a prophet in the Old Testament. And he is delivered a message from God of coming crisis. And there's lots of woes, and maybe that's why we don't hear this from the pulpit very often spoken about the coming woes, and it's pretty heavy. But what I find in his response to what God is showing him is absolutely astounding. The position that he takes is of gratitude, and if we look at Habakkuk 3:17-19. It says, and this is after the Lord has showed him some things that are coming. He says, though the fig tree does not bud and there are no grapes on the vines, though the olive crops fail and the fields produce no food, though there are no sheep in the pen and no cattle in the stalls, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will be joyful in my God, my Savior. The sovereign Lord is my strength. He makes my feet like feet of a deer. He enables me to tread on the heights. Wow. Now, this Old Testament prophet Habakkuk was able to rejoice in the midst of a coming, impending crisis that he may or may not have known if he was going to be alive for. But in spite of that, he knew how he was going to posture his heart. And, we don't hear the words, he's thankful, he's grateful, but we certainly it can be implied here because joyful people usually are thankful people. So he was glad for who God is and what God does. So if we break that down, first let's talk about who God is. What do we see when Habakkuk talks about who God is? Number one, he is a sovereign Lord, the one who has all things under control, who knows the beginning from the end, who works all things for good. Number two, he is Savior, the one who delivers us in the midst of crisis. He is the strength and the one that enables us to preserve. So, looking at that, I would love if you guys could just meditate on that. And, if you haven't read the book of Habakkuk, it's a short book. It's not a very popular book, but look at that and see if you can pull out who God is in the midst of this, because it really is through his mercy and love that he disciplines the wicked. But how Habakkuk is saying, I'm going to stand and I'm going to rejoice and be thankful because I know who my God is. So next time when we come back, we're going to look at this a little bit more, and we're going to see what God does. What is he saying to Habakkuk, and what is Habakkuk getting revelation of what God does in the midst of crisis?